In the shadowy depths of the music industry, shocking truths unravel as we explore the disturbing pattern of how young stars, including Usher and Justin Bieber, were manipulated and exploited in their formative years. Let's take a deep dive into a world where fame and fortune often come at a harrowing cost, where parents may prioritize money and notoriety over the safety and well-being of their children. In this environment, the vulnerability of young artists is exploited by powerful figures who often wield more influence than those meant to protect them. As we delve deeper into this complex landscape, we will uncover the realities faced by these artists, particularly Usher, who at a young age was thrust into the limelight, only to encounter shocking experiences that would haunt him for years. Usher's journey into the music industry began under his mother's management, but everything changed when he was sent to live with Diddy. This exchange, clouded with questionable motives, set the stage for a cycle of exploitation that resonates through the lives of many young talents. The question arises, what truly happens behind the closed doors of the so-called flavor camp? What are the hidden costs of fame? These are the vital narratives we shall explore as we expose the dark underbelly of the music industry, revealing stories that need to be told and heard. We hope to shed light on these issues, bringing awareness and understanding to those who might not realize the precarious situations many child stars face. As we embark on this exploration, prepare yourself for a journey into the murky waters where talent, power, and vulnerability collide. The cost of fame. The cost of fame often extends beyond glitz and glamour, revealing a darker side that many young stars face. As these individuals rise to the spotlight, they encounter immense pressures, including the expectation to maintain a certain image, deliver hits, and navigate complex relationships in an industry laden with temptations. Take Usher, for instance. Thrust into the limelight at a tender age, he faced challenges that would mark his journey. After being signed to Diddy, the young artist was soon submerged in a world where mentorship blurred the lines of personal safety. For many, including Usher and Justin Bieber, this mentoring relationship often turns into a dangerous game of power and manipulation. Imagine being just a teenager, living in an environment rife with adult pressures and shady dealings, where questionable choices become the norm. The music industry rewards those who produce results but often ignores the behind-the-scenes trauma that can ensue. This reality can distort a young star's perception of self-worth, leading to spiraling mental health issues and destructive behavior. Abuse, whether physical or emotional, can linger long after the cameras stop rolling, often affecting relationships with peers and family. The promise of fame comes with a price that is not always paid in dollars or cents. The emotional toll can be immeasurable. For many, the allure of stardom fades quickly, replaced by a longing for normalcy and escape from the very fame that once seemed so enticing. Navigating such territories is no easy feat, and as more stories come to light, the industry is faced with pressing questions about accountability and the preservation of the well-being of its youngest stars. Confessions from Usher. Usher's journey into the music industry was anything but ordinary, starting as a young boy under the guidance of his mother, who was his manager. However, things took a dramatic turn when he was sent to live with Sean Diddy Combs, a decision that has been scrutinized over the years. Set against the glitzy backdrop of Hollywood, Usher's confessions unveil a world rife with hidden dangers and temptations. He reflects on the pressures he faced, declaring, "I was just 13 years old," as he navigated a landscape where grown men often blurred the lines of professionalism and personal interests. Usher recalled how living with Diddy exposed him to an environment filled with parties, where adult behaviors were rampant, and many of those around him were far from innocent. Through his eyes, we learn about the conflicting emotions of adoration and fear he felt as a young artist engrossed in the chaos surrounding him. Usher described nights filled with debauchery, saying, "What was once a dream turned into a nightmare." He later admitted that the experiences at Diddy's camp altered not just his career trajectory but also left lasting scars on his psyche. The mentors who were supposed to protect him instead became heavyweights in his struggles, leading to doubts about trust in an industry designed to exploit the young and vulnerable. Through all this, Usher's honesty shines a light on the urgent conversation of child stars' welfare within the music industry, inspiring a new generation to advocate for change, all while recounting lessons learned from facing situations that many would shy away from. The manipulation of Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's rise to fame was meteoric, but behind the glitz and glamour lies a story of manipulation and vulnerability. At a young age, he was thrust into a world filled with adult pressures and expectations, which many would find overwhelming, especially for a teenager. Initially taken under the wing of Usher, Justin was exposed to the darker sides of the industry. The allure of fame often overshadowed the need for protection. Usher, a key figure in his career, was supposed to shield him from potential threats, but many allegations suggest that Justin was handed over to Diddy, a notorious figure in Hollywood, for 48 hours without parental supervision. This lack of oversight raised eyebrows and sparked concerns about the safety of young stars in the volatile entertainment landscape. Rumors swirled around Diddy's notorious camp, where notions of inappropriate behavior were ever present. Justin was reportedly left vulnerable to experiences that no child should endure, and as he battled with his newfound fame, the pressure only intensified. The betrayal felt by Justin's fans, and even those in the industry, only adds to this distressing narrative. It's crucial to recognize that behind the headlines and media portrayals, Justin was just a young boy who needed guidance, not exploitation. The realization that he was potentially subjected to the same predatory practices as other child stars is a disheartening reflection on an industry often more focused on profit than the well-being of its talents. As we dive deeper into Justin's story, it's clear that the manipulation he faced raises questions about the responsibilities of mentors and the overall framework within which these young stars operate. Sexual exploitation allegations. The music industry has long been marred by allegations of sexual exploitation, and still, many stars have come forward, shedding light on the dark realities they faced. Usher, who began his career at a young age, found himself in an environment rife with questionable influences. It was during his time at Diddy's Flavor Camp that shocking claims began to emerge. Allegations have surfaced, indicating that Diddy abused his position of power, manipulating young artists, including Usher, who was just a child at the time. This environment, often described as predatory, forced children into scenarios where their safety was jeopardized, all in the name of fame. Diddy is not alone in this, as rumors often circulate about various high-profile figures in Hollywood facing similar accusations. The implications of these allegations are far-reaching, extending beyond personal trauma to create a systemic issue within the industry that remains uncomfortable to confront. Justin Bieber's relationship with Usher also highlights how the cycle of exploitation can continue, with claims suggesting that he, too, was handed over to Diddy's influence. This unsettling pattern emphasizes the need for accountability and awareness. As victims share their stories, the required conversation surrounding these harassment claims becomes more vital. Society must support those speaking out and ensure the protection of young talents desperately trying to navigate an industry that often prioritizes profit over their well-being. These are not just stories of celebrities, they are reminders of the importance of safeguarding minors within every facet of entertainment, aiming to foster a culture that prioritizes safety, respect, and awareness rather than silence. The hospital incident. Reports indicate that Usher ended up in the hospital following an alarming incident involving Diddy, the details of which remain foggy. Sources suggest that this situation was symptomatic of a larger issue, prevalent within the industry, a culture of predation against minors. Witnesses have described a chaotic environment at Diddy's Flavor Camp, where young stars were subjected to harmful influences, and, tragically, Usher's experience was no exception. The hospital visit raised eyebrows, not just for the physical toll on Usher, but for the emotional scars it left behind, showcasing the dangers faced by child stars in the music industry. People began to speculate about the true nature of the injuries, questioning whether they were merely accidents or more sinister in intent. As media coverage escalated, the incident drew attention to the troubling patterns of exploitation and abuse that seem intertwined with the glittering facade of fame. Observers noted that Usher's hospitalization was not an isolated incident. Rather, it highlighted the underlying issues faced by many young artists in an industry that often prioritizes profit over protection. This incident prompted discussions about the responsibility of adult figures in the lives of these minors, particularly when it comes to ensuring their safety amidst the pressures of fame. Therefore, Usher's experience serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for reform in the entertainment industry, advocating for better safeguards to protect vulnerable young talents from harm. The implications of this event resonate far beyond Usher, sparking essential conversations around accountability and the necessity of a systemic change. Breaking the cycle. In the heart of the entertainment industry, stories of exploitation emerge, revealing the haunting experiences of child stars like Usher and Justin Bieber. Both singers navigated a world that often prioritized profit over their well-being. Usher, who once was a young artist himself, found himself in a position to mentor Bieber. However, instead of shielding him from the toxic realities of fame, he unintentionally passed on the very cycle of abuse he had endured. As we delve deeper into this pattern, it becomes clear that breaking the cycle isn't just about personal resolve, but rather requires a collective acknowledgement of the industry's dark underbelly. There are ingrained structures that allow such exploitation to continue, with predators often dressing their intentions in the guise of mentorship. For Justin, the transition into stardom came with its own set of challenges. He faced the pressures and demands that come with fame, while also grappling with the looming shadows of past trauma. He expressed his desire to protect younger artists, aiming to ensure that they are not subjected to the same cycle of abuse that he and Usher experienced. It is evident that the road to recovery involves not only personal healing but also systemic changes within the industry. The narrative reveals a pressing need for accountability and reform. Those in positions of power must prioritize the safety and mental health of emerging talent, offering guidance without manipulation. Only then can we hope to free the next generation of artists from the toxic cycles that have historically plagued the industry. The dark sores of the industry. Behind the glitzy facade of the entertainment world, there lies a murky underbelly filled with corruption and exploitation. Young stars, hoping to make their mark, are often drawn into a trap of manipulation, where the price of fame may be their very innocence. Usher and Justin Bieber's stories are chilling reminders of how the industry can prey on the vulnerable, under the guise of mentorship, where trust is misplaced. Allegations have surfaced, suggesting that both Usher and Bieber were subjected to not just intense scrutiny, but also to an environment rife with abuse. Reports indicate that Diddy, a figure cloaked in notoriety, has been at the center of disturbing claims, with whispers of exploitation echoing in the corridors of Hollywood. The harmful practices that occur behind closed doors are often silenced, as victims grapple with their trauma in isolation. The cycle of abuse appears unbroken. Even as Justin sought to shield younger artists, he was himself a product of the toxic culture, a culture that has repeatedly let down its most impressionable members. The industry seems reluctant to change, hiding secrets that could shatter reputations, leaving many to question the moral complicity of those who remain in power. As whispers of exploitation grow louder, the call for accountability becomes imperative. In this dangerous dance of ambition and surrender, we must ask, how many more voices will be drowned out before we shine a light on these dark sores of the industry? As we reflect on the shocking narratives that have emerged from the music industry, it's crucial to recognize the profound impact these revelations have on future generations of artists. The stories of Usher, Justin Bieber, and countless others serve as a powerful reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in the journey toward fame. This industry, while filled with glittering opportunities, often conceals a dark underbelly, where ambition can lead to exploitation, and where young talents are subjected to pressures and potentially harmful influences. In sharing their experiences, these artists not only shed light on their personal struggles but also provide an urgent call for change, advocating for the safety and protection of minors in the industry. The time has come for accountability, where we must question the morality of allowing such exploitation to persist under the guise of mentorship and guidance. As fans, it is our responsibility to support these artists in their pursuit of justice, encouraging open dialogue about these complex issues. We must demand transparency and protect the well-being of future generations, ensuring that young stars are shielded from predatory behaviors and toxic environments. Together, we can create a safer, more supportive space within the music industry, built on respect and compassion, rather than fear and manipulation. The troubling patterns of the past must be addressed and transformed so that the music industry can become a place of empowerment rather than a breeding ground for abuse. Let's stand together, to amplify their voices, and to bring about the change that is so desperately needed.